ChatGPT just continues to be in the headlines, continues to be talked about, and probably rightfully so. It's pretty crazy the things that it has done and that it can do, not even connected to the internet. But ChatGPT is starting to take people's jobs. And this has been the topic of discussion the entire time ChatGPT has been a thing, looking at it's going to replace people's jobs, right? And people looked at that, and maybe one day we'll all just end up working for AI. Wouldn't that be crazy? But some of the jobs that we're worried about before, when ChatGPT first really launched, was things like tech jobs, coders, programmers, engineers. Those were big jobs that people were worried about. ChatGPT was just going to come out and start writing code, no problem. Now, people that I've talked to that actually know how to write code and stuff say, it's not really good for that. It could help you with like problem solving or troubleshooting, maybe a portion of code, but to straight up write code from nothing, it's kind of not great. And you add on top of that, the more complex the code gets, the less good ChatGPT gets at being able to execute it. So you got some of those problems. Then people shifted their ideas because originally everyone goes to the extreme, right? It was ChatGPT is going to replace coders. And then people started to see maybe this thing isn't as good as everybody really thought it could be. You can't just have it spit out some great complex code out of nowhere. And you have people saying things like, what took a team of software developers might only take some of them. And in terms of jobs, I think it's primarily an enhancer than full replacement of jobs. And I think that might be the trend we're going to go in. Not to say no one will get replaced or there won't be less jobs because of AI, but people aren't going to get straight up replaced and just have a bot there. Unless you work at BuzzFeed or did work at BuzzFeed, they've obviously had their content switched to AI writing all of their content for them. I don't know if they've stuck to that or if they've moved back or whatever, but at one point that was their plan. And, that could replace you if you just write articles, maybe then, but even then, you got problems with articles. It's not like ChatGPT is the greatest writer of all time. But we do see businesses actually moving on with this and actually taking jobs away with ChatGPT. We can see that right here. Even the headline, AI is taking away jobs in the US, and a survey confirms ChatGPT is replacing humans. So if you look at that survey, it says, according to the survey done by a job advice platform, resumebuilder.com, 1,000 business leaders, almost half of US companies, which were part of the survey, have already implemented ChatGPT, and as a result, it has replaced workers at their companies. So this is no longer a what if this happens, ChatGPT could do this. It's actually happening. Companies are replacing people, or at least lowering the number of employees they have, by using ChatGPT, by using AI. And some of the industries or companies doing this are like this right here: 66% for writing code, 58% for creating content, 57% for customer service, 52% for meeting summaries and other papers. So it's a lot more mundane tasks, right? Kind of tasks where you would take a lot of information, say the last one there, writing summaries for meetings and papers and stuff. That is somebody who's taking that information of that meeting, who was there listening, writing everything out, saying what people said, taking down the ideas. That could be replaced by the AI just being there, taking it all in and spitting it out after. So it lowers costs. It's kind of the tasks that really have to do with processing information, I think, are the most at risk of being either straight up replaced or lowering the count, right? Where if you had a team of 5 people doing these summaries and stuff, maybe you have a team of 1 or 2 people using the AI to spit out the summary. That could be a possibility. As for these other things, 50% for customer service, they're always looking for ways to, have a robot answer the phone and stuff. 58% for creating content. We already saw that with things like BuzzFeed. I think a lot of things are going to use AI to write articles, and maybe even they already are doing it, but people aren't really used to it, aren't really looking for it, and they're kind of just getting away with AI articles. So I think there's a lot of media companies that might actually already be doing that. And still the big question mark is writing code, right? 66% for writing code. Again, I haven't heard great things about ChatGPT being able to write actual code from scratch, especially if it's complex. I've heard things of using it with you. So if you have troubleshooting, you have a quick question or want to know how to do something really quick, or check over a section of code, it can be used for that and be really good for that. But like writing code straight out, like fully replacing someone who writes the code, probably not going to happen. But taking on a team, like if it was a team of 10 again, say 10 coders, maybe you can lower that to 6 or 5 coders and use ChatGPT to accelerate the process, speed it up, and it can actually be just as good work or better work. And then you have half the employees. I think that might be something that we end up seeing. And we know business leaders are really excited about this. It's going to save them money and maybe give them a better product. But right now, probably not. But maybe in the future, it leads to better products. But you can see them saying overall, most business leaders are impressed by ChatGPT's work. 55% say the quality of work produced by ChatGPT is excellent, while 34% say it's very good. And that's a little weird or worrying, right? So that's almost nobody saying that the work is bad and they don't like it. And with AI, we've seen time and time again, if you push it to its limits, keep talking to it, ask it questions, and make it say something, you can lead it on to say one thing and it can be completely wrong. But with AI, it is confidently wrong. So unless you already know the information, you're not going to be able to tell that it's wrong because it is confidently wrong. You could ask it 2 plus 2, it'll say 2 plus 2 is 7. Unless you know that information is wrong, you're not going to really know if it is or isn't. So those are problems you have. And to say the vast majority of people think that ChatGPT's work is just exceptional, maybe it looks exceptional, but it really isn't that great. And you have this last quote here that I think makes a lot of sense if you kind of look at it, saying the AI will be a coworker. It will be a coworker, and that coworker will take time for them to understand the context of the customer. So that might be the approach a lot of businesses take, is AI is a coworker, so you work alongside of it, basically saying like it's just a tool. Like if you were to Google something, you would just use the AI, and the AI could be quicker, it could be better, it could be more efficient, and that's obviously, you come into the same problem of, is the work right? Is it confidently wrong, or is what it's saying actually right? That's where it could get tricky and where it could get a little hard. I think once that's ironed out, it'll be an exceptional tool. It'll be insanely useful, but that could take some time because it's confidently wrong. But the fears of AI stealing our jobs away is actually here. It started when ChatGPT came out. A lot of people looked at it and said, this is going to replace people. And then it kind of moved away to say, well, you know, it might lower teams and move teams down and make less jobs, which I guess would be replacing people, but it's not going to full out replace people. You're still going to need a person or a small team of people to kind of monitor it, put the information in, know how to use it, and use it as a tool instead of just have ChatGPT and say, go work. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.